Mm. That's delicious. Hi, my name is Paulette, and welcome back to Time for Keto. Today, I'm going to show you a delicious keto pumpkin marble swirl cake. And it only has 2.8 grams of carbs per slice. So stick around and let me show you this recipe. First thing is first, let's preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. So what we're going to do first is we are going to combine our dry ingredients. Now, if I forget to tell you the measurements of certain ingredients, I will definitely link it in the description below or put it on the screen as I'm telling you what ingredients we have. But for now, our base dry ingredient that we're using and that we're going to combine with is almond flour. And here we have 2.5 cups of almond flour. And with this almond flour, we are going to add, there's quite a few spices here, but it's pumpkin spice. And we have cinnamon, we have nutmeg, cloves, ginger. So we have quite a few ground ingredients, which I'm going to add. As you can see, we also have 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to add that in as well. And all we're going to do for now is combine the dry ingredients like this together. Simple as that. So now that that is done, we are going to put the dry ingredients aside and we're going to start with the wet ingredients. And what we're going to need for this is a mixer of some sort. It could be a handheld mixer. I'm going to be using my KitchenAid mixer. So we're going to go off to the other room and I'm going to show you the wet ingredients that we're going to be using and we'll take it from there. But before we do go to the next step, just wanted to remind you that you need to have a 9-inch bundt pan, and here's mine. And I am going to spray it, and I'm going to just spray it with some coconut oil and just have that ready. You could use a silicone bundt pan if you have. You can use whatever. You don't even need to use a bundt pan, but I just think it looks really nice in this mold. So now that's ready. Let's head off to the other room and start mixing our wet ingredients. Okay, we're in the other room now. And here's my mixer and I have my ingredients, my wet ingredients here. And what I like to start first with is creaming the butter and the sugar together. So right now I have 1.5 cups of stevia sugar sweetener. I'm just going to add that to my bowl. And I also have 1 cup of unsalted soft butter, and that's going to be added as well to the bowl. And then we are going to start mixing this until it's whipped, to a certain point, and then we'll add the other wet ingredients. Just clean the sides from time to time because this mixer bowl is slightly large and it goes to the edges of the bowl. So I'm just going to move everything back to the middle and continue with the process of whipping this butter, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, I think that looks great. Let's turn this off and I will show you what this looks like. Have a look. So it is quite whipped, and let's get on with the next step. The next ingredients that we are going to be using is 3 eggs at room temperature and our 1 cup of pumpkin puree. And this pumpkin puree it's not for pumpkin pie. It's not a pumpkin pie filling. It is just puree. There's nothing in it, no salt, no nothing. So it's fantastic. I will show you the can that I use. It's just so easy when it comes to making pumpkin recipes. I'm just not going to do it from scratch. So let's get started. Let's add the 3 eggs. I'm thinking let's do it one by one. So let's start the mixing process, and we will add 1 egg and continue with the 3 eggs and blend it all together. Then we'll add the pumpkin puree. Okay, it's time to add our 1 cup of pumpkin puree. And let's just blend that. Let's just mix that in a medium speed, and then I will show you what the next step is. All right, I think that's good. It's mixed for maybe 2 minutes. Let's turn this off. And we are now going to add the dry ingredients to this mixture. So let's do that. And we are slowly going to mix this all in together. And take it from there. Be sure you clean the sides as well a few times so everything is blended well together. Let's turn this up a bit. Just going to turn it up 1 more notch just to be sure everything's blended, and then I'll show you the next step. Well, we've combined the dry and the wet ingredients together, and this is what it looks like. That looks really good. Now the next step is placing at least, if not slightly more, of the batter into the bundt tin and leaving that for a bit, because we need to start with the cocoa and the marbling step. I've added just slightly over half of the batter into the tin. And I have, because it's a thicker consistency, I just sort of smoothed it out myself. Now let me show you the next step. So here's the rest of the batter. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in a glass bowl because it's easier for you to see what I'm doing. But I'm going to basically put this mixture into the glass bowl, and I'm going to add the cocoa and the almond milk. Look at the texture and the consistency. If it needs a bit more almond milk, that's when I'm going to add it. Here we have 3/4 of a cup or 60 grams of cocoa. So I'm just going to add that in. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But it works. Just going to blend that in a bit. I do have my whisk because I might use that as well towards the end just to be sure that everything's blended together. So I'm just going to mix this a bit and then add the almond milk. Okay, so let me tell you what I have done in the background. As you can see, this is nicely blended chocolate mixture with the pumpkin mixture. And what I had to do was add another 1/4 of a cup of almond milk. So half a cup of almond milk was able to give me this, which is the consistency I'm looking for. Because what we're going to do now is we are going to dollop this chocolate mixture onto our other mixture in the bundt pan, and then we are going to swirl it around with a knife, and then we'll get it into the oven. So let's get on with that process. Let's just get some of this generous amount and just dollop it into the cake tin. And now that it's there in the cake tin, we're going to use our knife and we're going to swirl this around as so. Just continue swirling it, and the chocolate will combine with the pumpkin mixture at the bottom. Here you have it. That looks great. So what you're going to get at the end is you're going to get swirls of chocolate with that pumpkin, but at the base is also going to be a chocolate. So it's going to be like a two-tone type of cake. It's so delicious. So let's get this into the oven and allow this to bake for 35 minutes or until your toothpick goes in there clean. So just keep an eye on your oven because every oven is different. Let's get this in there. And I will bring you back when it has finished baking in the oven because we have a cream cheese icing glaze that we're going to drizzle on the top of this bundt cake. Obviously, it needs to cool down, but that will be the next step after the cool down process. in a medium-sized bowl, add 115 grams of softened cream cheese and 58 grams of softened unsalted butter. Mix well until nice and smooth. Then add 3/4 of a cup or 55 grams of powdered sugar sweetener, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of almond milk. Use a whisk and blend this all together. You can also use a handheld mixer if you like, if it's easier. And there you have your cream cheese glaze. It's done. And I have to say, that has taken longer than 35 minutes to bake. It had taken, I reckon, around 55 minutes. So be sure you check this once in a while because you don't want it to be undercooked and you don't want it to be overcooked as well. So, but I am pleased with the results. Have a look at that. As I mentioned, it was two-tone, but you can see inside that it's marbled in there. I think it looks great. So now it's time to put the cream cheese glaze on. And as you can see, there it is. It's not thick. It's supposed to be glazy like this and thin. Well, it's time to do the taste test. I think that looks great. The glaze turned out perfectly. It was able to just drip down the cake, which is what I wanted it to do. And now we have to try it. So let's just grab a little slice. Keep in mind, this is 12 slices, so I'm going to do my best to work out what one serve looks like. Okay, I'm going to try and show you, before I put it on the plate, what it looks like. Have a look at that. That looks great. Okay, let's get this on the plate. Let me just bring that up closer to you. If you can see, that looks fantastic. Okay, we are going to do the taste test. That's delicious. The beautiful pumpkin spices. It's a texture of pumpkin pie and pumpkin cake. So it's really great. It's the mixture of both. And I really like the chocolate as well with this pumpkin. It just gives it that extra layer, I guess, depth. Let's have some more. That's delicious. That turned out perfectly. And I love the icing too. That was a success. You should try it. Yes, there are a lot of steps to making it, but I tell you, it's well worth it. It is so light and only 2.8 grams of carbs per serve. You can't go wrong. This is a great dessert to make for a family dinner, Thanksgiving, anytime you want, a special occasion. It is guilt-free and everyone will love it. So thank you so much for joining me today. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me. And until next time, I will see you again soon. Bye. Mm.